Welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Take a breath, because what we're about to share rippled through the industry like a sudden storm and left countless fans blinking at their screens. From the title, you already know where we're heading. Today is about Yaman and Demet Özdemir. Yes, that duo who inspired fantasies, debates, and 1,000 edit videos set to piano ballads. The update we have is potent, unexpected, and already reshaping conversations across the fandom universe. Before we open the curtain on today's reveal, if you haven't done it yet, tap subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss when we drop a fresh scoop. You've turned this space into a community, and your loyalty is exactly what pushes us to bring you the deepest, smartest, and most responsible storytelling around the lives of your favorites. Now, let's go straight to the headline moment. December 19, 2025. Remember that date, because it's the point on the timeline that now divides before from after. On that Friday, whispers slipped out from behind carefully guarded doors, whispers that quickly formed a single, unwavering message. The story centers on Can and Demet, a pair whose names have felt inseparable for years. We've watched them build careers that leapt borders, we've replayed their chemistry until we could predict every look, every smile. They've been a constant presence in the dreams of a generation that fell in love with them on screen and rooted for them beyond it. And that is exactly why today's development feels like the ground shifting. The persistent rumors that hovered around them, sometimes dim and sometimes thunder loud, suddenly changed course. For ages, the conversation circled the same hopeful questions: would they make it official? Would a wedding follow? Would they blend the momentum of their separate successes into a shared life? A glow of stability seemed to surround them, a kind of quiet promise. But the information that surfaced, carefully worded, never reckless, sliced through that illusion and rearranged expectations in a heartbeat. Out of respect for everyone involved, and because our responsibility is to inform without intruding, we won't map out private details. What we can confirm is this: the pivot is dramatic. This is not a short-lived disagreement or an informal pause. This is a serious, deliberate redirection in their relationship status. The first hints emerged the way these things often do, through people in proximity to sets, teams, logistics, and schedules. Usually those murmurings fizzle out. This time, their consistency, combined with a notable absence of immediate denials, gave the narrative momentum. And once the current gathered strength, it became impossible to push back. The online reaction ignited within minutes. Twitter lit up with threads, Instagram with story chains and heartfelt notes, TikTok with rapid-fire analysis and speculative timelines. Can and Demet supporters, loyal, vocal, and seasoned, split into currents. Some folded into sadness, posting throwbacks and saying thank you for the memories. Others dove into theories, trying to connect dots and assign meaning to recent appearances. And a few, in that flashy style the internet never abandons, jumped straight to imagining future co-stars, new love interests, and audacious projects. The mood is a kaleidoscope, and honestly, how could it be anything else? When you've invested hope into a couple, a sudden swerve hits hard. So what exactly does this shift represent? While ethics stop us from detailing private choices that belong only to them, it's clear the conclusion wasn't impulsive. It sounds like a decision born of long talks, quiet hours, and practical realities. To many, it signals a full stop, or at the very least, a monumental comma in a story we believed we knew. Until very recently, they projected unity, joint appearances, gracious words, a rhythm that suggested they were both walking in the same direction. Then overnight, the compass flipped, and we're all learning to read the new map. Think about who they are as individuals. Demet Özdemir, with that warm presence and blazing discipline, who glides from romantic comedy to layered drama without dropping an ounce of charm. Yaman, bold and global, moving from local phenomenon to international marquee name with a swagger that's more craft than accident. Together, they felt like the kind of tale you replay, modern, magnetic, and a little bit mythical. And now, this twist underscores a truth that never stops surprising us. Even when lives unfold under bright lights, the future has its own plans. What does this mean for their careers? That's the question that's pulsing through the industry. Will we still see them sharing the same screen? Will their paths intersect at festivals, brand events, charity galas? How will this impact the projects fans were sure they would do side by side? The honest answer is that only time has that script. Right now, there's more curiosity than clarity, and that's okay. Not every story reveals its next chapter immediately. We also need to talk about how we talk about it. In an era when the polished highlight reel becomes the standard, days like this remind us how layered real relationships are. We witness curated slices and assume a whole. But the heart works outside the frame, and choices are made away from the microphones. So let's be careful with jump to conclusion energy. Let's practice generosity. They are artists, yes, but above all human beings who own no one the most intimate pieces of their lives. The leak itself reopens a debate that never truly closes. What is the line between information and intrusion? Social media amplifies everything, moments of joy, and moments of fracture. One comment multiplies into a chorus. One clip loops into new meanings. In a culture where being first can matter more than being thoughtful, we want to be the voice that slows the pace, holds context, and refuses to forget the people inside the headlines. Still, none of that softens the shock. The wave hit, and it hit hard. Fan spaces are buzzing, some in quiet vigil, some in a collective processing that looks like a blend of mourning and celebration. It's a testament to how deeply connected they've been to their audience. Together, Can and Demet turned moments into memories, laughter in interviews, near telepathic exchanges in scenes, an ease that seemed to confirm what so many hoped. Which is why today, with the narrative pivoting, it truly feels like a turning of the page. We can imagine plausible reasons without claiming to know. Picture the competing gravity of schedules, international shoots with punishing hours, a high-stakes production demanding one be in another country for months. An endorsement tour that leaves no day unclaimed, or simply two evolving dreams that no longer fit inside the same frame. Life is sovereign like that. It can present paths that are both right and incompatible. Whatever the cause, we trust they weighed it carefully. Here, we remain committed to a certain kind of space. Turkish Spotlight Secrets has always invited an open conversation that respects the subjects and embraces the audience. We are curious and we analyze, but we don't pry at the expense of dignity. So yes, bring your theories, your feelings, your favorite memories. Let's talk. But let's also hold the tone steady and kind. There is zero doubt that Can and Demet know how to navigate public moments with poise. We've seen them under the brightest scrutiny and the toughest questioning, and they've stayed measured, thoughtful, and often disarmingly warm. Whether this moment leads to cleanly separate journeys or surprising intersections, their artistic imprint remains. The characters they brought to life, the shows that sparked global fandoms, the charisma that turned casual viewers into dedicated supporters, that doesn't vanish. If anything, it deepens, because the work becomes the vessel that carries us forward. December 19, 2025, starts as a date stamped in the calendar and ends as a marker in pop culture memory. A morning like any other blooms into an evening where timelines tilt. By now, you've seen the think pieces and the threads, you've heard the live spaces and the video essays. A reality emerged, news tied to Yaman and Demet Özdemir altered the landscape of how people see them, both as a pair and as individuals. To recap clearly, the reverberation we're feeling today revolves around a serious and unforeseen adjustment in their relationship. It wasn't announced with spectacle, it arrived through the channels that so often carry truth first, the quiet, consistent tones of those nearby, and took shape in the silence that followed. The surprise is massive, the speculation inevitable, and the relevance undeniable. Even with many particulars unconfirmed, the magnitude of the reaction tells you everything about how closely the public has traveled with them. So, where do we go from here? We wait, we watch, we support. We pay attention to the artistry that keeps growing. We listen for the moments when they choose to speak, and we meet those moments with respect. And in the downtime, we remember that human hearts deserve room to breathe. Thank you for spending your time with us today and for trusting Turkish Spotlight Secrets to handle a delicate story with care. Your engagement is the heartbeat of this channel, and your presence has turned comment sections into living rooms. Now, we want to hear from you. Did this news catch you by surprise? Which moment from their journey lives rent-free in your memory? What do you hope each of them finds on the road ahead? Drop your thoughts below. We read, we reply, we reflect. If this video gave you clarity, or simply a compassionate place to process, tap that like button, share it with the friends who've been rooting for Can and Demet from day one, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next update. This chapter may be closing or transforming, but the conversation continues, and we'll be here to navigate it with you. Until next time. M.